All right, so this solo is going to start with the exact same figure that we did, the little descending tapping figure that we did in the intro of the song, where it came down from the hammer from 5, 7 to 8. And when you get down there, then you go over to the 4th fret on the 3rd string, bring it down and pull off the 2. A long bend there. Scoot your first finger up to the 4th fret, and then we start our tremolo picking. Now when you're doing tremolo picking, you want to use just the very tip end of the pick, just grazing the string, brushing the string, and just getting a rapid sound control of it, and using the smallest motion you can. Some people like to do a little bit of a rolling in their picking hand with their pick, just kind of a circular motion around the string. It basically cuts the friction from your picking the string, and it lets you go faster. So Eddie Van Halen actually, he just flips his wrist because he's holding it with some crazy, the way he holds his pick is very unorthodox. So we do 4 to 6, then scoot up to 9 and 11, and then up to 13. And when you get to 14, put some vibrato on it, so we have this. All right, then we start the second phrase by slide to 14 on the 3rd string, roll over to the 1st string with your 1st finger, same fret, 14th fret, and then do a bend at the 17th fret on the 2nd string, hold that bend, then play that 14 on the top string again, so we have this. And then we start this quick little blues runs, which, he's never going to play this the same way twice, but it's one of these things that you can kind of do your own thing here if you want. But what he's doing here is he does this hammer on and pull off from 14 on the 2nd string to 17 and back to 14. And then you pick the 16th fret on the 3rd string, so go like this. And then he does the same thing, but instead of going to 16 on the 3rd string, he goes over to the 14 on the 1st string. So we got this. And then back to the 1st one again. So we had this. And then we go from this 16 back to the 14 on the 2nd string, then back to the 16 on 3rd string, a whole step bend and release, pull off to the 14 on the 3rd string. Okay, so that comes after this. And then come back to the 14 on the 2nd string, roll over to the 14 on the 3rd string, and then end it with the 16th on the 3rd string. So from this, after this, then we come down to the 2nd fret, and we're hitting a lot of pinch harmonics here. He kind of just goes kind of very random, and then you're kind of bending up that string, your 1st finger, kind of bend it when you're doing this pinch harmonic. So you just get a little bit to do that pinch harmonic, you get a little flesh of your thumb hits the string the same time the pick does, right behind the, right in front of the pick. So we have, and then we come down on the 4th fret after you do this 3 times, 4th fret on the 4th string, harmonic again, and then back to the 2, so we get this. Then a full step bend at the 4th fret, 3rd string again. Roll 2 on the 2nd, 2 to the 1st. So we have a standard blues lick. And then we come down to this phrase, which we're going to first start it. It's going to be basically a pull off from your pinky and the 2nd string, 5th fret, pull off to the 2nd fret, 1st finger, and then open string. So the first time he plays that, he does it just like that. So it goes. And then he keeps doing that over and over again, but this time, I mean, every every time after this, while he's doing that, while he's repeating that phrase, he double picks the 5th fret. So you just do a downstroke, upstroke, then do your pull-offs. And then you can use your pinky here, but it's come up and bend that 5th fret whole step on the 2nd string, back to the 2 on the 1st string, and then do a hammer pull from 2 to 5. Back to 2 there. Then do 4th fret on the 3rd string, back across 2, 2 on the 2nd and 1st. So we have this. And then come down to the 5th fret on the 3rd string, slide it down to 4, and then pull off the 2. And then come back to 4. And then hit the 4 on the 4th string, and end that on the 2nd fret, 3rd string. All right, then we start another figure coming up. 2, 4, then 5, 6, 9, 11, 13, 14, and then 14, 17 on the 2nd string. And then we do this big unison bend where you do a whole step bend on the 17th fret on the 2nd string, and then you hold your 1st finger down at the 14th fret on the 1st string, and bend that 2nd string to what sounds like that 1st. And pick back and forth between the both. So, between both of them. So we have this. All right, now we start this kind of weird phrase, what he does right here. You release this and you pick 14 by itself, then you pick 16 and pull off to 14 on the 1st string. And then do the same thing at 17. And then when you go to the 19th fret, you're going to pull off to 14 as well with like an upstroke. And then you're going to pick the 14, you're going to roll over and pick 14 on the 2nd string as well. So guys, that's a 3-note figure when you get to the 19th fret. So we have this. And then back down to 17. And do that same figure where you pick a downstroke on that 14 on the 2nd string after it. So we have to do it. Okay, and then from there we go. And that is just 17, 16, then 17, 16 again. This time when you get to the 16 the second time, do a hammer on to 17, pull off to that 16, and then 14. So we got this. Then come over to the 17 on the 2nd string, back to the 14 on the 1st, and then back to the 17 on 2nd, and then do a pre-bend. You want it to sound like that too, the whole step. So it's kind of tricky. Oh. All right, so we have this. All right, and then you come down from that, pulling off to that 14 from the 17, and then picking that 16 on the 3rd string again like we did earlier, and then doing that figure that we did earlier too, in that hammer from 14 to 17, back down to 14, and then the 16. So coming in, and when you get to that 16, go across strings 14, 14 on the 2nd and 1st, come back down with another pull off on the 14th fret. By the way, you can improvise here if you want, just stick around the area, it's just about the vibe of it. He doesn't do it the same way twice either. So after you get, pull off to that 14, come over to 3rd string, pick that 14, back to the 14, so there's a lot of rolling here, back to the 14 on the 2nd string. And then we do 17, 16, 17 on the 3rd string. back to that 14, and then we do a pre-bend at the 16th fret on the 3rd string. So we have this. Pull it off to 14, and then come back to 16, and just play was kind of a staccato on that 16, and end it with the 14th fret right there. Then we're going to end the solo. So let me play that all with it. And then we're going to end it with a bend at the whole step, the 4th fret, 3rd string again, come over to that 2 and 2 on the 2nd and 1st string again, and then do a after you get to this, that 2 on the 1st string, go back to the 4 on the 3rd string again, do that whole step, up, pull off, and then come down on the 4 on the 4th string. Pull off the 2, 4, and then do a little bar, a little roll from the 2nd fret on the 2nd string and the 3rd string. So we have. And then we're going to end it with 3 unison bends. So we have the 2nd fret with your 1st finger on the 2nd string, 4th fret on the 3rd string. Pick those 2nd and 3rd strings together and bend the 3rd string up till it matches. Same thing at the 5th fret, and the same thing at the 7th. And you end the solo with just a 0-2, E5. And then it goes back to that quiet verse figure and back through all the chorus and the pre-chorus. And we're going to take a look at the outro next.